Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, home of the YouTube Silver Creator Award. I'm Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you wherever you are in the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Our show today is creating a world of possibilities, and I am the first one to share with you. I never thought that I'd have this television platform built and where it is today, or that I'd have award-winning books. It's all because of you. It's all because of the possibilities that have come to me through this platform. Today, we're going to talk to someone whom I've actually had the pleasure of being in class with the British School of Excellence and founder, Mr. Philip Sykes. If you're not familiar with them, we'll bring up their website later, but it is the British School of Excellence.com. Today, my guest is Zunette Lubbe, and Zunette is joining us from South Africa. Zunette is an etiquette and protocol coach. She's also a business owner. She is a very skilled attorney who had something happen in the course of her work and decided to focus on etiquette and manners. And today we're going to be talking about respect. It seems to be something that's so easy to give, and yet it's so elusive, and that this world is really in need of more etiquette and manners, in my opinion, starting with respect for ourselves and respect for others. Let us welcome Zunette to the program. Hello, Zunette. How are you?
Hello, fine. Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline, and good to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure to see you again. I feel like every time I see you, it is on a screen, which is okay, because you can definitely build relationships like that. And that's definitely how it happened with Philip and Leanne and all of the wonderful people at the British School of Excellence. So you have had a profound career as an attorney and doing really well at that, and then decided that you were going to elevate that with etiquette and manners and bring that into the legal world. Can you tell us a little bit about how you made that decision?
Yeah, sure. It happened. I had my own law firm, and it was an all-female firm. And at one stage, I had 4 candidates attorneys, and one of them was our daughter. And she's a brilliant candidate. And I was in court in town, and on my way back late for a brand new client, very high profile client. And I asked her phone and said, please just meet up with the clients, take them in the boardroom, open the file, start asking questions. I'm there within the next 10 minutes. And when I arrived there, I walked in the boardroom and she was sitting there bare feet, no shoes on. She's very artistic as well. And afterwards I asked her, but how can you do that? This high profile clients. And she said to me one thing. She said, this is the way I feel today. I want to feel the earth under my feet. And I said to her, but we're sitting on the first floor. You're not feeling the earth. You're feeling my tiles. And then she said to me, but what background do I have so that I can tell her how to power dress, what to wear? I'm an attorney. I'm not the image consultant. And that's the next day. We also had another incident where I took all 4 of the candidate attorneys to go into negotiations, and we were going to the other attorney's office, which immediately puts you in another field. So you immediately in the down scale, you look, it's their territory, it's not yours. And when I arrived there the morning, they all had jeans on. And so I subsequently sent them back home, and I said no. And then I went and I did an image consulting course. And it just triggered, I love it. And that's where my life changed, and that's where my career changed.
Thank you for sharing that. It's really incredible because it started with your own daughter, your own family. So I really admire you for that. And you just said something when you mentioned jeans. I'm not a person who wears jeans. I think I have a jean skirt with tags on it that I've never worn. And of course, jeans are great. But my question for you is, I've noticed, at least in the States, that many people are just constantly in jeans. Jeans, even if it's a dress up situation, it's jeans maybe with a blazer. So for those professionals out there, when are jeans appropriate, or is there a time that they're not appropriate?
You know, Dr. Jacqueline, in my opinion, it all depends on your host. If you respect, and that's where the respect comes back in. You know, I've been in situations where you've been invited to a function and it will say formal, and still the people will turn up with jeans. And to me, that's not showing respect. So it all depends on the host, the invite that you received, but also in like a professional environment, I don't believe jeans. I know it's more relaxed, but if you really want, I do believe you can never be overdressed. So I really think that if you have a jean on, even with a blazer, you look better, but still being dressed up in a suit just gives you that little bit of an edge. And I agree with you. I see it as well. I also see it more and more that the people do wear jeans for every occasion. But it brings me back to respect again.
I love that. That's a great way to position it. And I think also, and we're not going to stay on jeans too long, but also when it comes to jeans, I think there are different types of jeans. There's jeans that have holes cut in them. There are jeans that are purposefully baggy that you can see undergarments showing. And to me, these things are not things that you would be wearing to a business function or out to dinner, but yet people do.
Yeah, no, that is an absolute no-no. I am preparing for a workshop that I'm doing next week, and it is just by accident, it is attorney's firm, and I read through the policy, the dress policy that they have in office, because I like to bring that into my presentation. And they specifically ask, please don't wear ripped jeans, don't wear baggy jeans, because that is, if you don't tell the workers, the employees, they do that. It's as if that respect, once again, is not there.
Absolutely. We have a restaurant chain here in the States. It's called the Capitol Grill. And I know up until recently, I don't know if it's still there or not, there's a big sign before you even enter about a dress code. And to me, that's taking it to another level, that when you go in there, you know everyone's going to be dressed a certain way. And I feel like this when it comes to style and image, for example. I have several big fluffy robes. I do not feel like I can work, even though I'm from home. I have to take that off and put on a dress or something, because then I feel like I'm ready to sit down and get serious with work. When I have that robe on, it just feels confining. It doesn't feel professional. So even though I'm here by myself, I'm usually dressed up because I feel like I'm in that mindset where I'm able to create more. How do you feel about that?
That is so important. It's exactly that. If you dress right, you feel you have the confidence. Once again, take a law firm. If you dress according to the dress code, you dress properly, men's got their suit, and even females button-up shirt, you go in there and you feel confident. You know your topic and you feel confident, and nothing can go wrong. So I fully agree with you. It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely. And I think something that I found is that whatever it is you're wearing, how you carry yourself says a lot about that. So, for example, if you're wearing something that's tight and you're constantly pulling at it, or it's plungingly low and you're constantly adjusting, people can see that and sense that. And it's almost like you're not comfortable in your own skin. So, what you put on and how you carry yourself reflects how you're feeling about yourself. Is that accurate?
Yes, exactly. And even if you take the fabric that the clothes are made of, if it's a type of fabric that lets you sweat a lot and you feel uncomfortable, you feel hot, and you, like you say, you move around, and they picked it up. The audience or your client will pick it up, and that makes a huge difference because you don't feel comfortable. You feel this interview or this consultation must just be get over and done with, and you don't give your best to your client.
I completely concur with you. And something else that I just want to share is about lasting impressions. And I know Philip and the British School of Excellence, I've learned from them about that first impression that you make with somebody. I think it's in 7 seconds. So if you think about it, if you and I were doing this interview today and I showed up wearing a tank top with some kind of logos on it, and my hair was unprofessional, and you showed up in something, you're painting, you're wearing coveralls, people are going to get a different takeaway from the show when it comes to your branding and your image. So how do you decide what you're going to wear in alignment with your branding and your business?
Yeah, I fully agree with you there. And the important thing is, if you're not dressed, like we said, you don't give your best. And there's a personality aligned to each and every one. And to answer your question regarding how do I decide what to wear, I've got a personality that is more elegant. So I dress according to that personality because that is how I feel comfortable. You've got your 7 universal personalities, dramatic and all that. But to bring it still back, even though you're, say, for instance, dramatic personality, you can still dress more formal, according to the situation that you are in or the meeting that you're going to attend to. But you can have that little bit of a dramatic shoe or something in it to bring out your personality. And for me, how I decide what to wear and what to dress up in is easy because I have my wardrobe coordinate and I am dressed as a elegant, classic personality. So it's easy for me to dress in the morning, and I always dress like that. Even if it's a casual situation, I will always have something in a formal line on because that's who I am.
And Zunette, that comes across very clearly. I sense that from you in our interactions. So your branding is right on point. I would say mine is elegant glitz because I'm always over the top with my nails and my hair jewelry. And it's funny because the other day I was with some friends and we were out doing some shopping. And this gentleman from Cape Town, believe it or not, he was in the States and he stopped me because of my sneakers. And my sneakers they're like sneaker shoes. They're all crystals and they're bling bling. And he said, wow, you really stand out because of those sneakers. And I like that. I used to be in heels all the time, but there's sometimes you cannot wear heels, especially if you're doing a lot of walking at this age. I'm not trying to kid myself anymore, but my bling stands out. Even in the gym, I have my hair jewelry, I've got my rings, and people will say, and I've got my headband, and they'll say, you always stand out. And it's not that I'm trying to stand out, it's just who I am. That is who I am. And so I'm not going to try to pretend to be someone else. But you're working with clients all across the world. You just told me backstage you've got some travel coming up for the rest of the year and next year. So obviously whatever you're doing is working. How do you work with your clients? What does that process look like?
Most of my work is online, although I do have clients that I do workshops at their businesses. I prefer working with corporates. It just happened. I do have individual clients, more in the image consulting side. I've got 3 different businesses. I've got the refined image consulting side where I work to color analysis, and that's mostly online. And every now and then I will do in person. But for some reason, I just get asked online to do it. So I do it online and then do the style, personality, and all that. And then I have my second business, which is Etiquette Solutions, and that is for the youth. So I work with groups at the schools, a few groups, 14 maximum, maybe 16. And then from there on, I will actually go out, and that will be for a 4-week course. I will work with these individuals. And after that, I'm going to launch this Zunette, which will be the School of Etiquette, and that is more for the businessmen, and that will be executive brand. I'm going for the executives there, and I saw the open market there, and I've already got businesses lined up in that area, and that will also be an online school that I'm going to launch. Busy recording all the lessons at the moment. It's a little bit behind, but we're getting there.
Congratulations, Zunette. That is so exciting. And obviously, you had your own law firm, that is quite an endeavor in and of itself. And launching into another business is also challenging. What are some of the tips that you can offer to our business owners who want to be business owners, I should say, or startup businesses, to really set yourself up for success when it comes to opening a business or maintaining a business at a successful level?
The most important for me is to be on par with developments, IT, and we can't stay behind. I mean, I'm 64 years old. You can't stay behind. You need to be with the young group, the young adults out there. You need to educate yourself into the IT side of it, electronics, how to put a course online. That is the first thing. The second one, it is hard work, and I will suggest not to show anybody away. Even if you get that one person to come to you, that is one person that will tell the next one about your business, and that is how you grew. And the next one will tell a corporate. And like I'm now basically working with corporates, and it's because of word of mouth. I don't really advertise. I am on Instagram and I am on LinkedIn and all that, but I don't have time really to be on it, because the word of mouth is where I get my business from.
Word of mouth is so powerful. And I just want to share with you and our audience just briefly something that happened just the other day. And Zunette, I'd love to have your feedback on this. So my friend and I were out walking, as I mentioned, and she had been in this particular store before and I never had. And I went in and absolutely was amazed by the products that they have. I'm not going to say what it was, but for one specific product to be available in so many different forms. And so I just out of nowhere said to the employee, I said, would you mind if I interviewed you? Because I'd love to give you some free publicity. So I interviewed both of the employees in the store. I actually had 2 books with me and unrelated. I signed my books. That wasn't part of the interview, but I came back and spent 4 hours editing this video. And I thought, you know what, I'd love to give some free publicity to this business, because I wasn't aware that this product came in so many other products. So I went to their Instagram and they have never responded. They haven't even opened it up. That's about 3 days from now. And you can see they have a lot of posts there, but so they've never opened it. Then I emailed them and they never got back to me. So then I called on the phone and I spoke with someone and I said, listen, I like to do nice things for people. And this is just something that came to me. And I really, in support of what you're doing, like to get the word out, because I didn't know about what you were doing. So they said, send them a link to watch it. So I did. And I never heard back from them. So I contacted them yesterday via email. And the only thing they wrote back is, we are not interested. And I thought to myself, first of all, I'm a customer. You didn't even say thank you for your business and for your friend's business. Thank you for taking the time to put this together. That was it. There was no other information. So I emailed them again and wrote, thank you for responding. I appreciate it. Would you kindly share some feedback so I can understand what the thought process was about you not wanting this gift that I'm giving you? And they've never written back. So personally, I don't think I'll be shopping there again, because I don't like the way that I've been treated. And all I needed was a simple explanation. Maybe they thought I was going to charge them, even though I said repeatedly. So anyway, for business owners out there, every transaction is really important because one person can touch the lives of so many. And Zunette, you're talking about word of mouth. So if this is the way people are running their business, I don't think it's going to last long if they continue to treat people like that. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree with you totally. It's just, I mean, even your friend, you will tell somebody else that's closer to you, you will tell what business it is, and they won't shop there anymore. So, and it's unfortunately, like I say, I'm not actively on Instagram and all that, but if I do get an inquiry, you need to answer it immediately. You need to answer your email immediately. Even if you're busy with something else, just try and do it on the same day so that you show respect once again, you value their time, you give them your time, and even if you're not interested, put it in a better way than what they did to you. So no, I agree with you totally. They're losing business. You don't know how long they're going to be open.
Very true. And to me, what I think is going on, and I think this happens many times, is the business owner is so in the business. In this case, they have a number of locations, so they've got employees, but it also becomes it's about the money. And to me, once it becomes it's about the money, you forget about the client, you forget about the person, you forget about the human being making that transaction. And that can be the downfall of any business. And I hope that doesn't happen to them. I'm just saying for people out there watching who are looking for some education, Zunette, your point was right on. When someone reaches out to you, get back to them. I've had people, I can't even tell you how many people reach out to me about search engine optimization on our YouTube channel. And somebody yesterday sent me the third email, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to get back to this person because he had all this information. And I wrote, thank you for taking the time to reach out and offering your services. I'm not sure if you're aware, we have earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award for over 100,000 subscribers. And he wrote back, you know what, I really wasn't paying attention. I use a form that I just send to people who are on YouTube, and I just copy and paste. And he said, this was a good education for me. And I said, well, I'm glad that you were open to that feedback. So Zunette, let's talk about that, about being open to feedback. If someone says to you, Zunette, I really don't care what you think about our interaction, after this show, you're going to get a survey that you'll let us know how you feel. As a business owner, how important is giving feedback and receiving feedback?
That is very important. And even if it's critique, you need to adhere and listen to what they say, because there's something for you to learn from that. So it's very, very important. And even giving feedback, it doesn't matter where you are. And I know that in the British School of Excellence, one important thing that I've learned there is the value of a handwritten note. So I do take my little notes with me from now on, wherever I go, and leave a handwritten note, because that is important. And even the feedback, you don't have to give feedback to a guest. I would say to them, thank you, that I could stay here. It was fantastic, all that. But it makes a big difference to them, because some of them don't have online feedback. It happened to me the other day. We stayed over and I left a little note to say thank you very much, and I went back to Johannesburg for another workshop, and I was booked into the penthouse suite because the previous time I left a note. I said thank you, and I gave them feedback on certain things, and I got the penthouse for the same value than one of the normal rooms. So there's a lot of value in it, not only for you, but even your business. You can learn a lot from how other people, because you don't see, you don't fault yourself. You don't see faults in the way that you do. But the moment that somebody tell you, you have to look into this or this, that's when you actually need to listen to them to realize, where you can improve.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And something that I just want to share is when I'm interviewing people who want to have their own television show, if they are not open to feedback, they will not be on this platform, because it's all about growing. It's all about what can we learn from each other. So, Zunette, when someone is not interested in receiving feedback, to me, that always is a signal of being closed off in some way, being closed off, being insecure. Maybe it's an ego related thing, but maybe it's not that. What do you think of when someone is not open to feedback? What's going on there?
Well, I would think it's more an ego thing. That person believes that, listen, this is the way I do it. I'm doing it the right way, and I'm going to carry on the way that I do it. Maybe they're successful and they feel that, I've been doing it for years now and I've created and I'm up to this point. It wasn't a problem. How can you tell me not to do this or watch out for this or just look here? So it is, I think it's a bit of ego. And once again, respect the person that's giving you the feedback. Respect, listen, and give attention to that point that they made.
I completely agree with you. And I think it's also about being a lifelong learner, that no matter how long you've been doing something, as you mentioned in the beginning of the show, technology changes all the time. And how can you embrace technology? Let's say that you and I both had phones from the 1980s, giant phones with antennas, but yet all these evolutions of phones had come out since, but we weren't even open to looking at it. I remember when I was in corporate, the Salesforce.com, the CRM platform came out, and we had a number of senior salespeople who had been there for a long time. And one of them was very successful, and he flat out refused to use Salesforce.com. He just said, I'm not doing it. And I couldn't wait to see how it was going to make my life easier, because that's what technology can do. But he never used it. And so the owners just gave him that grace, because they said, okay, I guess he's too old to learn. But we're not too old to learn. It's about having that open heart and that curiosity of a child that you want to learn more. What do you think?
No, I agree with you, Dr. Jacqueline. We had an incident here, and as you know, I also belong to a Rotary Club, and we had an incident where one of the people in the organization he doesn't have a phone, and he didn't answer WhatsApp. He didn't answer anything. And in the end, you can't get hold of him. So you need to move on to the next person, because this person, although he wanted money, he wanted us to help him, and we couldn't get hold of him. Not that he couldn't afford it. It's just he has this thing against technology, and he doesn't believe in phones. He's still got his home line, landline, and it's not because he couldn't afford it. It's just he feels, and he's not old. I think he's in his 50s, late 50s. But he still didn't want to. And unfortunately, he lost the opportunity because of that, because there wasn't a WhatsApp that he could send to him or anything. And you had to physically phone him. And unfortunately, he lost out on an opportunity.
I'm so glad that you shared that, because that may help somebody who's out there who's watching this and thinking, how accessible am I? Is it easy for clients or prospects to get in touch with me? Because if it's not, to your point, we can just move on. It's a big world. In fact, at one point, I was told there were 6 million coaches on LinkedIn. So I know for myself, when I'm doing research, I'll go on LinkedIn. And that's another thing. Please have a profile on LinkedIn if you're a business owner. If you want that credibility and that respect, please have a profile. So I will go on there and I'll just do a search. For example, we're looking for TV show hosts outside of the US who want to have their own show in their native language. So I've been able to be, just because of LinkedIn, no other research, to find 5 people that I'm going to be meeting with during my little tour. Mm-hmm. So have a profile, have a professional profile, and make sure that it is representative of you and your branding. So let's talk now about Zunette Etiquette School of Etiquette. So tell our viewers what services you're going to offer. And you mentioned that you do a lot of work online, but you also work with people in person. So we're not closing the show, but I'm just wondering if you can share who is a good client for your Zunette Etiquette School of Etiquette.
Well, it's going to be, I'm already working in that line, but I'm working to put it online as well, to have an online school that, and that will basically be your businesses. That the CEO, recently we attended a function and I could see that the CEO was on stage with his hands in his pocket, and it was a huge function, and small little things that you need to just make them attend to. So I'm targeting, in this instance, I'm going to target the upper, it's going to be a deluxe luxury market, whereby you can get the online school, you can go in, you can buy the course for your employees, and they can then access it for a certain amount of time, whereby they can do the course. And I also do that, I'm already doing it physically with corporates, working with them. And that is where I bring the know, like, and trust element in as well in business. Yeah, that is the new website.
Yes. Thank you so much to our audience, especially those who are listening on a podcast platform and are not able to see the screen. We are actually showing Zunette's Facebook page, which is Zunette Style. What can people find out here on this Facebook page, Zunette?
Yeah, it's basically what I'm doing. I am also a member of IPIA, which is I'm a board member, International Professional Image Association. So I'm a board member there, and we share what we do with IPIA. We've just been busy to get the image consulting qualification recognized with CETA here in South Africa. And I work with them in collaboration with IPIA, and I'm a member of Style Sorority, so working with them. So I just share some information on I'm not going to have different platforms for all of the businesses, the School of Etiquette and all that. So on my Facebook page, I actually share all of it, all three businesses. Sometimes it will be something on etiquette, sometimes it will be something on image, color, personalities. So I share all of that on the one Facebook page, and the same thing on LinkedIn.
Thank you, Zunette. A question I have for you is, I remember when I was in corporate, someone showed up with purple in their hair, and immediately they had to go and see HR. And as time has gone on, obviously people are very creative and they've got many ways to express themselves. What is proper etiquette in terms of image styling and branding? If you are in a creative field, let's say you're in hair and makeup, or you're in television, or whatever the case may be, what is the rule on, let's say, nose rings, or having dreadlocks, or facial tattoos? Is there anything that you can share with our audience about this if someone works in a creative field?
The most important thing is to look at the dress policy of the company that you're working in. But in a creative field, it is acceptable to have certain amount. But the important thing is also to look at your client that you're going to see. And if you know that, I remember you having, when we did the course, you had that one incident where you're talking with the elevated listening. You were talking about tattoos, and one of our members that was with us in the course, she just said, sorry, I don't want to hear anything about tattoos. So what I want to get to, if you know, although it's acceptable in the creative field, also look at your client. And if you are aware that your client maybe dress it down a bit, because once again, show respect to your client that's coming to see you. She or he wants you to create something for them, but they are aware you're creative, but maybe just turn it down a notch. But it is acceptable in the creative field. It's acceptable to have purple hair also. But if you, like in a law firm, if you as an attorney, and the dress code won't say you're allowed to have purple hair.
Thank you, Zunette. I just want to elaborate on what you were talking about. So Zunette and I became trained etiquette coaches through the British School of Excellence, and that was in November. I was there in London, and you were zooming in from Cape Town. And one of the parts of the course I was teaching was setting boundaries and asking permission. And we do a lot of role plays. And so, to Zunette's point, we actually had a role play between myself and another person. And I just mentioned in the role play that I was thinking of getting a neck tattoo. And the other person was visibly shocked by what I shared, even though it was a role play. And she couldn't bring herself back from it. She just kept going down this path where she was getting more and more upset. So the reason I bring it up is people judge us. People judge us by how we look. So if you have a client, like for example, these nails are not going to be for everyone. If I was going to some function where I was with a very conservative company, I wouldn't be having this look unless I was representing myself as a TV personality. So in terms of teaching classes and whatnot in person, people make judgments about that. So Zunette, what I'd love to have you share now is, how do we keep our identity and our branding true to ourselves, and at the same time not insult our clients? So we'll just use me as an example with these nails. So maybe I love these nails, which I do. It took the guy 3 hours to do them, believe it or not. So that might be offensive to someone else. So if I was calling on someone who's in a very conservative business, they may think I'm wild and crazy, and they don't want to work with me because of my nails. And that's not the case. This is just an expression of how I am and who I am. So what would you suggest to people who are living their life the way they want, dressed the way they want, presenting themselves the way they want, and knowing that the client might be put off by that? Do you just say to yourself, well, then I don't want to work with them?
No. I will still go and I will express to the client that, listen, I love my nails, this is who I am, and I will give you the best work that I can. In an instance where you know you can tone down, say for instance your clothing that you wear, you can do that, but I won't really. I will take in account how that person feels, how that conservative person is, but you still have your personality and you still want to express yourself. And if you can, the important thing is also to remember the 5-second rule, because within 5 seconds, people will judge you. And it's unfortunately they do that. So you need to be prepared on your topic to, within that few seconds that you start talking, that you can actually present your case and show that you know your topic, you know that they're talking, so that they can see past that. So, but I won't. If I can, in certain instances, tone down, but I won't. That's your personality and that's who you are, and you express yourself in that situation.
What a beautiful way to sum that up. Thank you, Zunette. I just want to share one other thing on this topic because I think it might help business owners. I was in corporate in a company that was very conservative in the Midwest, but my territory was New York and New Jersey. And I remember one day I was called into the CEO's office and he said, you're really out there. You're really flashy with your suits. And the suits were Armani, but I had the same kind of nails and red lipstick and blonde hair. And he said, you will be intimidating to the client. And so we'd like you to dye your hair brown and not wear the lipstick. And I said, listen, I could be in a hay bag in front of the clients. It doesn't matter. It's am I bringing them value? So if I can bring the value to the clients and bring business into this company, why do you care about how I'm dressed or how I look? I'm in New York. I'm not in the Midwest. So my question for you is, as a business owner who might have someone like me, who's a little out there with the flash, how do you handle that in terms of preparing that employee that clients may be intimidated or the client may not initially resonate with you? How do you overcome that if you're an employee that's dressed like that?
Yeah, it's a difficult situation, and that is where your with the HR department and where your dress code policy is very important, because when the person signed up or become an employee, they must know the dress code. And in this instance, you would go and talk to the employee and say, listen, we have our dress code and we appreciate the fact that you have the certain personality strain, or you can, like dramatic and all out there. But when you work directly with the client, you are the face of the company. And according to our dress code policy, this is how we want you to work, but we don't want to we appreciate you. And it's important to me to let the employee know that you do appreciate their personality and who they are in that, but they must also respect the dress code policy, because the day they signed up, that is the dress code that they were made aware of it when they signed up. So, and I think it's a give and take in both directions. If you have somebody that's really, she's a brilliant attorney or whatever, you need to sort of give and take, but you can also, she must from her side also give and take. And to me, the dress code policy is so important, but respect in both directions to me.
Yes, I concur with what you're saying. Zunette, we are coming to the end of the show, and I want to ask you, what would you like to share with our audience today that I might not have touched on or I might not have asked you about?
I think we've basically touched on it. And like I said to you earlier, I honestly and truly believe if we can just always take respect. And I know Philip Sykes always say that if you can be anything in the world, be kind. And in a world where you can be anything, be kind. And to me, that is so important. And I want to add to that, be respectful, respect others, respect the position you are in, and respect others' position. And so, for instance, you on a train and you listen to music, respect the person sitting next to you. They don't want to listen to your music. And so to me, the most important thing is respect. And we've touched basically on that. And that is what I want to bring over to the audience, is we can close boundaries if we have respect. It doesn't matter who comes over your pathway. Respect each other, and that will change you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'd like to leave our audience just with a final few thoughts in reference to respect. We're always being evaluated, whether we realize it or not. There are cameras everywhere. Everywhere you go, practically, we are being watched. So how are you showing up? That's the first thing. The second thing, are you being respectful to other people? I've seen in the last 3 times I've done this specific workout class that there are women who come in and they're talking through the whole class. And I'm thinking, you're so disrespectful to the teacher. The teacher's up there and she's trying to talk over you, but yet the teacher doesn't set a boundary and say, listen, please, I love having you here, but keep the conversation. Also about your phone. I've seen also in workout classes with weights, people are checking their phone. They're on Instagram. Like, how can you lift weights and check your phone? So I think it comes back to what you said, Zunette. It's about having respect for yourself, making a commitment to do something, whether it's you're going to be doing this workout class for an hour, show the teacher and the other students respect. Whether you're a business owner, show your clients respect, show your employees respect, and be open to feedback. I think that is so important, instead of putting a line in the sand and saying, well, this is the way we've always done it and we're going to keep doing it that way. I think that's a call for help, that you need to be open so that you can continue to grow and have others grow along with you. Zunette, final words from you today.
Yeah, I just want to say that on the topic of giving feedback, I remember the first interview that I had with you. I had my hands all over the place, and you sent me feedback and you said to me, listen, fantastic interview. And I appreciate the way that you put it out there as well. But just next time, keep your hands, don't have it all over the screen. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, that is feedback, and that is positive. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks for being open to the feedback. And Zunette, part of the reason why I ask people in the survey, would you be open to feedback from Dr. Jacqueline? Not because I want to call someone out and make them feel badly about something, because I want to help. So with you and your level of professionalism, I didn't think that the hand motions were bringing any value. So I just wanted to help you in a positive way. Now, somebody else might have taken that in another way and said, well, who does she think she is? Well, it's just somebody who wants to help. That's all.
Yeah.
So as we close out the show, let's talk about the proper way to give feedback. What I typically do is it's called the sandwich approach. And so I say something nice, then I give the information, and then I say something nice. So how would you give feedback if you were going to do so? Let's say you're going to give me feedback about the show, and maybe you have something that you think I could improve on. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, no, exactly the same. I think if you talk to anybody that knows me, they will tell you Nettie knows the sandwich approach, because I believe in that. I honestly believe you give the top layer positive, and then you give the little bit of not negative, but the feedback, and that's what you want them to improve on, and then positive again. So it is your little sandwich. And yeah, everybody knows me for the sandwich approach. So, and whenever I give advice to anybody, we have a huge WhatsApp group with consultants here in South Africa, and I will tell them, if they ask advice, I'll say, take the sandwich approach with your client. And yeah, I agree with you 100%.
It's a sandwich that everybody can enjoy. And
Yeah.
I'd like to just add to that. If you are someone who is looking for new clients, you're doing prospecting, that's a great way to do prospecting. Do some research about the business owner, the industry, then reach out and compliment them. Zunette, congratulations on your long-standing career in law and the fact that you're your own female firm. That is amazing. And then you decided to go into etiquette and manners and do some research. So I've spoken to Zunette a few times, so I know a little bit about her background. And then you could offer a question. Zunette, we are really interested in having etiquette coaches like yourself join this society or something, whatever it is. So she might be more receptive because I took the time to actually get to know something about her, as opposed to what you see all the time on LinkedIn. We do this, 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 and this. There's nothing about you. It's just all about them. Next, goodbye, sorry. What can you share with people when it comes to prospecting and having that level of respect and using the sandwich approach?
Yeah, I would say for me, the most important thing is, even if you go on LinkedIn, you must remember there's people that's going to read that's not going to agree with you. And you will get your bullies that will come and give you a negative approach. Still use the sandwich approach there. Thank them for the negative approach or the negative comment, and then give the sandwich approach and say this, but this, and thank you for this. So it's important in social media or wherever to always have the approach that you respect the person on the other side. And I've got one thing about bullying on social media, and I sort of ignore it. And I've realized we just had an incident now that there was a big thing going on the image consulting platform. And once again, it was a bad taste. It was said in words that wasn't respectful. And in the end, luckily, it was a professional woman and she turned it around. So my approach is always your sandwich approach, and always be respectful.
Thank you, Zunette. Lastly, I would just like to share this and then get your feedback, and we'll close out the show. When we used to send out newsletters, which are a tremendous amount of work, especially for what we're doing with all the television shows and spotlighting our elevated listeners. You're an elevated listener and spotlighting our TV show hosts. people would unsubscribe. And of course, I would go in and check and see who are the people who are unsubscribing. And sometimes I felt a little twinge of like, oh, why did they do that? So it taught me a lesson, which was whenever I get an email, whether it's a newsletter or someone's reaching out, I actually will read it. And I read it because I want to learn, what is Zunette doing in her business? What is she offering? Because that might be something of value that she and I could collaborate, or there might be value that I can take from what she's doing to help my clients. So don't be so quick to just delete everything that you get. Take the time to read and see what are people doing in their businesses, because this could help you and ultimately help your clients. And sometimes what I'll do is I don't even know how I got on a newsletter list, but I'll reach out to the person and I'll say, thank you. I'm not sure I got on the list, but I really enjoyed this content that you're putting out there. So that, I think, again, comes with being open and being interested in learning and respecting other people. If everybody is taking your newsletter and unsubscribing, then you're doing the same. Then we're not in a world where we're open and supporting each other. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Just something in my throat now.
Yeah, I've had that too. So I always have a drink there nearby. Yeah. So Zunette, we're going to close out now. I want to thank you so much for being here. We have shown the audience your website. We're going to put that up again. And we also have shown the audience your, your email address. And we've also shown the audience your Facebook. So for people who would like to get in touch with you, what's the best way to contact you, and who would you like to connect with?
With my email address, it's the best way. And my email address is actually the best way to get in contact with me. I'm just surprised that the website that you've put up is still the old website. So I will just check into that, because I know the new website has been launched with the new businesses on, but I will just check that. So it's quite interesting that there's still the old one out.
Yeah, maybe it's in what they call the sandbox. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, but I will
also,
check.
Listen, we know websites are a lot of work too, right? Working with website developers, it's crazy. All these things take up so much time. But for anybody who's out there, please do email Zunette. If you saw the show, just reach out and say, you know what? I really enjoyed it. And I know I talk to people and they're afraid to approach our guests. Zunette is here. She's given valuable information. Reach out to her. Her email address is her first name, Zunette, ZUNETTE, at the word etiquette solutions, etiquette, ETIQUETTE solutions, SOLUTIONS.co.za. And for people who don't know, what is ZA?
South Africa.
There you go, South Africa. All right, Zunette, it's an absolute pleasure. I look forward to meeting you in person in the States. So we'll talk about that another time. And thank you for being an Elevated listener and for promoting Elevated listening. I wish you the best with your new endeavor, and I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. I really appreciate it.
Really enjoyed it. Bye for now. Thank you, everyone. Please do reach out to Zunette. Again, we'll put up her email address. And I really do this work because I want to support other people. I'm getting a little choked up about it, but it means a lot. It really does. So please do reach out to her. All right. We are coming up with our next show. Thursdays, we are back to back, which I love. And for anyone who didn't hear what I announced in the beginning, I am going to be traveling to Europe. And we are actively looking for TV show hosts in other countries who speak other languages, because we're taking this platform 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're also coming out with our own app. I just hired a company yesterday. I've worked with them for other projects. So 2 or 3 months from now, we'll have an app that people can watch all of our shows on. So please do continue to support us. Do subscribe to our YouTube channels. I'm going to put up the graphic. You can go right here. Take your smartphone and just scan the QR code on the right, and that will take you to our Silver Creator Award channel. All right. Thank you very much for being here. We're going over to our sponsors. We'll see you soon. USA Global TV and Radio, home of the YouTube Silver Creator Award, proudly presents Just the Thing for Your Ring, introducing the patented Ring Thing. Your premium personal ring holder to keep your ring safe, nearby, and avoid loss.
The Ring Thing just got smarter. Add your logo and an NFC tag that opens to your website with one tap. Waterproof, inner padding, and now a forever business card.
Just the thing for your ring. Scan the QR code seen here to learn more about Ring Thing or place your order. Follow Ring Thing on Instagram at ring_thing_ or go to our website ringthing.com.
In a world craving connection, one platform dared to dream bigger. USA Global TV and Radio, a beacon for global voices, authentic storytelling, and elevated listening. Led by visionary Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the journey from a spark to a global force is now captured in one inspiring book. Honored with YouTube's Silver Creator Award for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. Discover the evolution, the challenges, the triumphs, and the unstoppable spirit that created a global movement. Executive producer Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang. Creative director Paul Garcia. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Now an Amazon #1 new release in paperback and ebook. Broadcasting Brilliance, the evolution of USA Global TV and Radio, is inspiring readers around the world. Join the movement that's redefining global media one story at a time.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents our partner and sponsor, Mr. Philip Sykes and the British School of Excellence. Building confidence, changing lives. And now, proudly presenting the Polished Professional.
On a transformative journey with the British School of Excellence's comprehensive suite of masterclasses, crafted to elevate your professional and personal life. 8 outstanding modules will elevate you to the next level. Module 1, Exploring Life's Purpose, delves into the depths of self-discovery, guiding you to chart your unique path to fulfillment and success. Module 2, Mastering Professional Presence and Confidence. This masterclass is a deep dive into the art of self-assurance and commanding presence, which is essential for standing out in today's competitive landscape. Module 3, Learn the Secrets of Visual Impact, how to curate a personal style that amplifies your professional brand. Module 4, Mastering Professional Etiquette and Communication Excellence, navigating the nuances of corporate interaction with grace and tact. Module 5, Elegance in Eloquence. We impart powerful techniques to captivate and persuade any audience with your oratory skills. Module 6, Unlock the potential of your emotional intelligence, EQ, and harness the ability to connect, empathize, and lead with emotional savvy. Module 7, Mastering DISC, building a gateway to understanding behavioral styles, fostering better personal and professional relationships. Module 8, Mastery in Dining Etiquette, building your confidence to perfect the subtleties of dining with finesse, enhancing your social savviness at any table. Step into the Polished Professional program where poise, elegance, and excellence aren't just taught, they're instilled for life. Join us to redefine your potential and polish your professional edge.
To learn more, go to thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. The British School of Excellence are investors in people. Let us invest in you.
Ever dreamed of hosting your own TV show, sharing your story with a global audience? Now's your chance to shine. At USA Global TV and Radio, we make it easy for you to create, host, and broadcast your very own TV show. Whether you're a storyteller, entrepreneur, or industry expert, we help you bring your vision to life. With our exclusive interview, live streaming and podcasting training, you'll gain the skills and confidence to captivate your audience. Our global platform ensures your voice is heard worldwide. Join our community of creators who are already making an impact, one show at a time. Step into the spotlight. Host your own TV show on USA Global TV and Radio. Book your discovery call today at usaglobaltv.com. Copyright 2025 USA Global TV and Radio. All rights reserved. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit usaglobaltv.com.
USA Global TV and Radio proudly presents Steve Klein Art at steveklein.art.
My name is Steve Klein, born Manchester, England, 1953. My quest in my lifetime is to create artwork from my soul and the deepness within my wildest dreams and fantasies. In 2012, my heart stopped when I was given too much anesthetic for a minor knee operation, and this near-death experience took me to another multidimensional world, an out-of-body experience, and I was given the gift of being blessed by an overwhelming, burning passion to become, for the very first time in my life, an artist with an eternal, passionate desire to bring my art, which I've named multidimensional, subliminal, freeform art, to the world, as only 3% recover from what I experienced, and now in my golden years want to release my cosmic, vital energy through my art to allow people to be a part of my cosmic dance.
To learn more, email roccogoodwine@gmail.com. For VIP pricing, mention USA Global TV and Radio.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives, one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.